You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
After a long week on the road, Penny Hardaway talks about the routine of road trips. Plus, it's the feel-good story of the season, Tyler Harris coming home. That's all coming up tonight on The Penny Hardaway Show.
The game is on.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser for Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And is supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers.
It's never easy on the road in the American. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Woloshin.
And I'm Cassie Carlson. Let's take a look at the highlights from UCF and ECU. The Tigers start their week in Orlando with a shorthanded squad. Down 3 early, Amani Bates in transition puts up a 3 and ties up the game. Later, Knights up 7, extended to 10 with a big 3 from Darren Green. He had 4 on the night. Tyler Harris starts the Tigers run as he pulls up from the logo. Landers Nolly from outside as the Tigers go on an 8-0 run to cut the Knights lead to 7. In the second, UCF up as much as 19. The Tigers cut it to 11. Off a Memphis steal, Landers Nolly finds Bates for the layup and 1. Just not enough for the Tigers to close the gap. UCF wins 74-64 and robs Memphis of a quad 1 win. Then a Saturday matinee in Greenville to take on ECU. The Pirates undefeated at home. Freshman Amani Bates feeling it in the hostile environment, testing the range early. It's good. Next possession, he keeps it rolling, pulling up for another triple. Later, heat check, Bates on fire from beyond the arc. ECU comes storming back in the second. Tigers up 10 with 2 to play. Tristan Newton hits a 3 to bring it to 5. Then Vance Jackson to tie. Lester Quinones to the line. He makes 1 of 2, 1-point game. ECU with the ball. Brandon Suggs banks it in off glass at the buzzer. Fans storm the court. Memphis falls 72-71. This week's outstanding performance goes to Amani Bates, combining for 25 points and shooting 50% from 3, along with grabbing 9 boards. The Defensive Player of the Week goes to Jalen Duren for his 4 blocks and 2 steals in the Tigers' 2 games.
Coach, when we talk about the road, it's really not a bad deal. It all really began with John Calipari when we went from commercial to charter. And what a pleasure that is.
Yeah, in college we took commercial. It was fun for us, but I'm sure it wasn't fun for the coaches just to go through the airports and see everything and then get to go to the snack shops and the gift shops and grab some food while you're on the way. Food of your choice while you're on the way to the games, but I'd much rather have charter. Charter is so much easier. You have your own seat. No one is near you.
And you get to leave on your own schedule, right?
Yeah, and then, obviously, you get to leave when you want. You can be a little late, and you can still go, and you go on your own schedule.
And people lose this too, but it's true. It is great for academics because you can tailor-make that thing, you get them back, you're in your bed after the game. It might be 2 or 3 in the morning, but you're there so you can get up and go to class.
Yeah, it's so vitally important to get the kids back to school. That's the biggest part about being a student athlete is that you have to do both. And the student part comes before the athlete side in our world. So we do have counselors and tutors that go on the road trips. But we also have to get them back so they can go to class the next day as well.
When you have a road trip, when do you like to get there ahead of a game?
We get there the night before, probably at 5, 6 p.m. We'll put our stuff, the same routine, in the hotel, and then we'll go right to shoot-around practice at that arena of that city.
And you still will get up that next morning and do a shoot-around, whether that's like in the hotel or at the ballpark, right?
Yeah, for sure. We do the shoot-around the night before to give guys extra time in the arena before they get there, and then the next day is mostly business. The night before the game is pretty much fun where the guys split 2 ends with the guards and the bigs and get lots of shots up.
So when you're on the road, the guys don't have their normal, apartments or dorms or like that. What do they do, I guess, to pass time?
Some guys will take their video game units and then they'll play video games. Some guys are on the phone. I think the phone is the number one answer though in pastime. They're on their phones on social media or something like that.
Also, when you were in college, I don't think we quite stayed at the Marriotts and some of the nicer hotels, and they've gone up a little bit since you've been the coach. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I got spoiled. I mean, obviously, when I was in college, I didn't care where we stayed. I just wanted to play basketball. But going to the NBA and you're staying in Ritz-Carltons in 4 seasons, that's the life. But, coming back to college, we still stay in some really good hotels. But, I know the difference. And the kids are definitely loving what we have as well.
What's the most difficult part about playing on the road?
The difficult thing is just being away from home, your comfort level in the arena that you're used to, your own bed, and just your normal routine that you have at home. And being on the road, to me, the guys are closer because they're around each other all the time. So there's more bonding time. But the difficulty is not being in your own bed and being in a different arena.
Toughest place collegiately that you played, and now the toughest place you've coached in on the road in this your 4th year?
Yeah, when I was in school, it was Cincinnati by a long shot. It was just tough to play there. And as a coach, it's been Houston. Houston is just a tough place to play. Obviously, I should say Tulsa because Tulsa owns us, but that's a split between Tulsa and Houston.
And is that because of fans? Is it because of the rivalry that's built over the years? What is it?
It's the rivalry that we built with Houston since I've been here, and then their fans. And then with Tulsa, is the zone, the zone defense that they have.
You've got a lot of opportunities on the road this year. As we speak, there are now 6 top 73 net teams that are out there in the American, which means you will have 5 opportunities on the road for quad 1 wins. That may be the best road opportunities we've had in our league since you've been the head coach.
Yeah, well, I said this the other day that our league has gotten so much better. We've gone out and got transfers and so much talent to come into this league. So our non-conference, our league is beating a lot of good teams. So they're getting their net ranking up there. So for us now, it's not just the disrespect of if you go through the whole league, they still don't respect you. You got to win the conference. It's basically what you do in non-conference. So for us, with those teams having great non-conference records, now when you go to these schools and you beat them, those are quad 1. So I love that.
Do you think the transfers that those teams have gotten is the number one reason why, their AAC is gaining that respect and getting a better product on the floor?
Yes, for sure. Because they're coming from the Power 5 schools to our conference. So they're respecting our conference enough to leave the Power 5s to come to the AAC, and it's definitely made our conference much stronger.
When you talk about those tough places to play, some people think when you go to gyms that aren't really full, and we've got a couple of those in the league, that's harder because you got to build your own energy when you're on the road.
I would rather take no fans and build your own energy than a packed house giving those guys energy. To me, it's even when they don't have fans in the stands because we're the road team, so that makes it easier for us.
Do you have a favorite road trip you've taken in the past 4 years?
Favorite road trip? I would say the Bahamas trip.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
I love that. That was fun to go to the Bahamas and play over there and stay at the Bahamar. Yeah, that was probably. But in conference, I would say Dallas. I like going to Dallas, even though we haven't beaten SMU at SMU. I just like going to Dallas or Houston.
Well, you did win an NIT championship in the Dallas area, so that's up there. Since you mentioned the Bahamas, I hear that's on the schedule in a couple of years, maybe Maui in a few years. I know there's a lot of folks who would love to go back to Maui.
Yeah, we're definitely going back to both. Because we went to South Dakota last year, they're inviting us back to the Maui Classic, and the Bahamas has already invited us as well, so we can have both of those back-to-back years, which will be fun for us and our fans.
Penny calls him his walk-on weapon. Why Tyler Harris decided to come home, coming up next.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
He's been called the best walk-on in the country, but it took Tyler Harris leaving home to realize where he belongs.
Inside Access is presented by Memphis Toyota Dealers.
Penny Hardaway says there's a different level of pressure when you're from Memphis and decide to stay home and play for the Tigers.
So who's got Penny and the alley-oop?
He did it. He felt it. Now with a handful of Memphis kids on his own team, they feel it too. Is it as hard as people say to play for your hometown team?
Yeah, it's very hard because, they're gonna praise you when you do good, and they're gonna kill you, sometimes when you do bad. And when you do bad in your own cities, counter down you, and seeing that they don't want you in the game or a part of the team, it always hurts you because you playing for them a lot of times.
But at the same time, it's the dream, and Tyler Harris was living it. From Cordova High School to play at Memphis in Penny Hardaway's first season.
I would say my first year on campus, it was very great. You know, it was my first time, getting to experience college. I was playing for my hometown. A legend in the city, Coach Penny Hardaway. Everything was going good, just getting a lot of love from my city. Just starting my college career off just, here again, it was just great. Everything was going good.
Year 2 was a different story. The team went through losing James Wiseman and an abrupt ending to the season at the conference tournament when COVID shut things down. After his sophomore year, Harris transferred. So why Iowa State?
I had a great relationship with the coaching staff. They recruited me very hard in high school as well. I liked the conference they was in and their facilities and everything about Iowa State was good, the fan base, just the culture they have, everything, so yeah.
In another unprecedented season, the Cyclones only won 2 games. What was it like when you were in the thick of it?
It was very tough, everything was going on. Like, it was a very different type of season, no fans, getting tested every day and, not winning. It's tough on a person, It just was a very different season. It's one season that I wouldn't forget, it didn't go my way, but maybe looking back on it, it'd be something good for me.
Memphis was always in the back of his mind. He was watching Tigers games and keeping in touch with his Tigers teammates.
I talked to Alex and Lester, though. I talked to those guys every day, pretty much everybody else from the team. But yeah, like I said, I didn't miss a game, and I was always rooting for him. And when they played Houston last year and he hit the half-court shot, it hurted me too. So I felt like, my heart still was hurt for sure.
After one season, Harris sent a text to his former head coach.
Yeah, when he got into the transfer portal, he came back to Memphis, and he texted me and was like, "Coach, I want to talk to you." I pretty much knew what it was about because I could feel that he was kind of missing the guys because he was kind of texting those guys throughout the season. And when I spoke to him, I just said, "Hey, things have changed some because now we're going to have a deeper roster again, and I'm not. I know who you are, so that's a great thing. I know what you can do. All I ask is that you just be a leader." And come back and just, do everything at a high level, and that's what he's done.
Was it hard to admit that you wanted to come home, or was that an easy choice for you?
I mean, I would say it was hard and easy because, you always have the pros and cons, you have the goods and the bads. But, to me, kind of the good overweighed all the bad. And so, yeah, it was like 50-50 hard and easy thing.
Harris didn't slide into the same role initially. With Hardaway's second #1 recruiting class, he came back to Memphis as a walk-on.
I'm a walk-on, but I'm a scholarship type player, so I'll take the best walk-on deal in the country. Hey, if they think that maybe that's better than being on scholarship, then got more little fame to it. So.
And a walk-on playing important minutes, even starting, and leading the team in 3-pointers made. Was there a moment this season so far? You've had that game against SLU and then against Cincinnati where you looked around and you're like, I'm where I'm supposed to be, I'm home?
Yeah, a lot of times I had those. I don't really think about it throughout the game, but usually when we get that win, it's like the last couple minutes left, it always feels great, and I had those moments where I feel like that.
Give me your favorite.
Alabama, the 3-pointer.
That place erupted after that. Yeah. Do you get chills, or you said you're in the game, but you got to feel that?
I got chills, when I went home and watched the video like 50 times. Yeah, I got chills every time.
What's the bigger lesson you've learned through starting in one place, going somewhere else, and coming back?
Well, I feel like when you leave and you go somewhere else, one school you have a culture at that school, and then you go to another school, you can still be on the culture from one school, and everything's to be different. So I just learned that, if you stay at one place 4 years, you'll know a lot about, the culture, and you won't have to start over anything. That's the biggest thing, too much.
What is it like representing your city?
Oh, it's great. I love it. Like, to get wins at the FedEx Forum, have everybody happy, throughout the city, it always feels good, because I know it means a lot to them. Guys from out of town might not know that, but I understand that.
And he knows that he's home.
Inside Access is presented by Memphis Toyota Dealers.
Coach, one of the great feel-good stories this year is Tyler Harris, and you had to make a decision. Would you allow him back? And that certainly turned out to be a good one.
Yeah, it wasn't a hard decision for me. You know, I hated seeing Tyler leave, but I understood what he was saying because we had so many guards. The reason why he wanted to leave to try to go to a team who has put guards in the NBA, you know, when he was at Murray State. So I can understand their style with shooting threes and playing up and down basketball. But when he wanted to come back, you know, I welcomed him with open arms because I knew how he could come back and make a big splash for us here in the city again because of his shooting prowess.
What's it like as someone from Memphis to see a kid from Memphis come back home and be such an impact player like in Cincinnati?
Yeah, he's always been an impact player ever since I've known him. I've watched him since he was really small, and he's been an impact player his entire life. So coming back, I knew that he would do that. But as another Memphian, I'm always proud when the Memphians do well because I know how much pressure it is here in the city for us that stay home to do well for the fans and for the university. So Tyler's just built that way. You know, he's a big shot taker and a big shot maker, and I'm always happy to see him make shots.
He could always make those shots. It seems to me his game is a little more well-rounded. Defensively, makes the big steal against Cincinnati a while ago. And he, I think, is a better team player at distributing the ball.
Yeah, well, I'm extremely hard on the Memphis guys because I know what comes along with, they understand our city, they understand what we want and what we need. So on Tyler, I've been challenging him more to be more of a playmaker and more of a defender, and he has definitely answered the bell in both of those areas.
Up next, the Tigers have SMU and Tulsa. Penny previews them right after this.
You're watching the Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
A laborious week ahead. You start at home with an SMU team that's really good.
Yeah, SMU's gone out and reloaded. They lost some pieces, but they still have Kendrick Davis, and he's the head of the snake. He's the guy that's, you know, been really tough on us since he's been there. And they've added some really good pieces around, some extra bigs, and another good, really good guard that's very athletic. And we know every time they come to town, you know, especially now with the connection with Coach Brown, it's going to be even hotter game than normal.
Then you go to Tulsa, a team you just beat in a very close game. You had mentioned that you wish that lead was larger because you now have to go to their place. How difficult is that?
Yeah, it's difficult, but we do know that we can beat them. You know, just how they came into our building and started off 10-0, we can do the same there. We have to get over the hump at Tulsa, and I'm looking forward to that game.
I thought your guys did get more comfortable with that Tulsa zone.
Yeah, we did get more comfortable. We added some things that we've never done before, and it really bothered them. We actually ran some man offense inside of our zone, inside of their zone, which we never tried before. So we've kind of gotten it down. Now we have to get the defense of being down with those guys.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
We'll get another sense of where Memphis stands after this next week. Stick around. We'll put a bow on this one in just a minute.
You're watching the Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Thanks so much for staying up late night with the Penny Hardaway Show. We'll do it again next week. Have a wonderful week, everyone.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser for Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from #1. Get in the zone. AutoZone. And is supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the University of Memphis Sports Network. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.